The first UK-wide inquiry into the contaminated blood scandal, described as the worst NHS treatment disaster ever, has begun hearing from those affected today. It could take up to 2 years, and we'll hear from around 120 people. Some of those from Worcestershire looking at how NHS patients were given infected blood products during the 70s and 80s. Some 4,800 people with the disorder haemophilia were infected with hepatitis C or HIV. More than 2,000 are thought to have died. It's being led by retired Judge Brian Langstaff.
We have already requested a number of documents which we would not have got had this not been a statutory inquiry. It is willing to hold people to account where appropriate, and it will express its views at the end without fear or favour, affection or ill will.
Well, Andy Evans from Evesham contracted hepatitis C and HIV when he was 5 years old. He is the chair and co-founder of the Tainted Blood campaign group. Good afternoon.
Hi, Andrew. How are you doing?
Well, thank you. How's it felt for you today for all this to finally get underway?
It's been an emotional day. We've heard from, obviously, Brian Langstaff himself, QC Jenny Richards, but then three of the most powerful testimonies I've ever heard in my life from actual victims of the campaign. People who've been affected by HIV and hepatitis C and various ways it's affected them.
Yeah, you're one of them. How's it impacted your life? Remind us.
It's touched every part of my life, really. It's been a long 30 years campaigning, so that's been a big part of it. But also, you know, having developed HIV and hepatitis C when I was 5 years old, it's something that I've always known. I was told when I was 12 that I was HIV positive. My parents told me. It was a secret I had to keep because of the stigma that was surrounding HIV back in the day, with the falling tombstone adverts, for one thing. And we were just told to keep it a secret. And it was something that people who were dirty contracted, and so we were lumped in with all of those people, and that was life. But then along came the illnesses, and so, you know, by age 16, I was diagnosed with having full-blown AIDS. I was told that I was going to die within short order. There were no medications to speak of at that time, and it was a case of just waiting to die or waiting for something to come along, some sort of miracle, which thankfully it did.
Yeah, I was going to say, because here you are. How is your health now?
It's okay at the moment. It's an adventure every day living with HIV that you've had for more than 30 years. Because we're at the forefront. There's nobody alive who has had HIV longer than haemophiliacs, and so there's no route map planned out for us. You know, you've got the side effects of the treatments that we've had over the last 20 years since they've been available to take into account, and you just don't know what's around the corner.
And I guess, I mean, God, we want you to be here for a very long time, as I'm sure you do and your family and friends.
You're very kind, thank you.
Well, we've not met in person, but you sound like a nice guy, and so let's focus on that. But at the bare minimum, you, I'm sure, want to see out this inquiry, don't you?
I certainly do. It's been 30 years too late. It's come 30 years too late for so many people that have died. Let's talk about the HIV-infected people alone. 1,200 people were infected with HIV in the early 80s. Only 200 are left alive now. So in many ways, I'm a very lucky person. But, you know, so many weren't, and we have to be their voices now.
Well, look, I'm sure we'll talk over the next couple of years. Thank you for your time and for telling your story so well. Andy Evans from Evesham, chair of the Tainted Blood campaign group, co-founder too, who is, along with many others, fighting for justice in what has been described as the worst NHS treatment disaster ever.